I, a nearly adult male, found out a few weeks ago that my dad left me a lot of money in a trust. It's such a crazy amount that I didn't really believe it at first, but it's true. The reason is that my dad had already inherited from both his parents. He also inherited from the only two uncles he had, and one of them was very successful and had a business. This was all explained in a letter my dad wrote to me. He had the trust set up before he came into most of the money, but when he found out his cancer was incurable, he decided to put it all aside for me once all medical bills were paid off for him. My parents were separated but not legally divorced when my dad was sick and died, but they weren't living together or a couple for a year. This was 10 years ago. My mom learned about the money after reading the letter he sent me about the issue. Then she insisted she join me to meet the lawyer to discuss this. When my mom learned about the money, she told her husband, and suddenly the money became a very touchy subject. The way my dad set it up, I can't touch it until I'm 19, so I have some time to deal with this. But my mom and her husband want me to share the money with my step-siblings, a teen and two pre-tweens. The money is enough that even if I pay for college and buy a house, I would have money left. The way the trust works, I was told that it's also getting interest, which my dad had intentionally set up. My mom and her husband have struggled financially for years. They started dating when his youngest kid was 1. His wife had died, he was going through a legal battle with the mother of his oldest, and his oldest was in therapy for trauma caused by their mom. Also, his youngest was born with some medical issues and has lots of doctor's appointments. Between everything, money was tight. We lived paycheck to paycheck, and I worked to make my life more comfortable. But we had no college savings or anything before this. My mom and her husband drained their bank account to keep a roof over our heads. This was all brought up to me as a good reason why I should do this. My mom told me it was selfish for Dad to put it all away solely for my future, and he should have been thinking about raising me as well. She told me I might not call her husband Dad, or his kids my siblings, but we are a family, and that this family has been through so much together, and we've struggled for so long, that it would be so good and generous for me to do this. I told her it's not like I can access the money now. She said no, but when I do, I should set up accounts for my 3 step-siblings so they have a better chance at college, and if not college, the chance to have help starting in life. Despite all their attempts to talk me into it, I said no. I told them I wasn't going to share the money. My mom was so mad, but it was nothing compared to how mad her husband was. They told me to quit being selfish and start acting with compassion. Am I the idiot for refusing to share my huge inheritance? Edit. His children are with his late wife and his ex-wife. None of his kids are my mom's kids. Not the idiot. So your mom's new husband is mad you aren't giving money to his children with your mother? This money came from your father. That was not their father. It was yours. This is whom your father wanted the money to go to. Explain to your mother that if they're going to punish you for doing exactly what your dead father wanted, they can go fly a kite. Mom should also ask her new husband to stay out of it. He isn't your father. Please talk to your trust officer and leave your mom out of it. None of his kids are my mom's kids. This doesn't make sense. These kids are not someone your father wanted to leave his inheritance to. Most likely, he didn't even know them. Your good fortune with regard to money doesn't fall to those around you. So when you get older, get a good paying job and make more than them. Should you write them a monthly check to them so everyone gets the same? Your mother's being pushed by her husband to have these thoughts. It isn't rational. What a weird world she lives in. Honey, your mom sounds toxic. I'm sorry. She should be happy for you instead of preying on her own son. Her behavior is disgusting. You need to do as your dad wishes and honor him. Set up your future. It's not being selfish. It wasn't your money, it was his. If your dad told you to go buy a gallon of milk at the store and handed you $5, would you return with a candy bar and a donation slip? He would likely be mad. It's a parent's responsibility to take care of their children. Your dad is taking care of you. My 48 male son is 24, and he has a Charger that my dad left him when he passed away. It is a beautiful car, and I wish my dad had left it to me, but that isn't the point. He and my son loved working on it together. That's why my son got it. In the last year, he's gotten 4 speeding tickets and just topped it off with an impaired charge. It is too much car for him, and he's irresponsible. I told him that he either had to move out of my house, where he pays for basically nothing, or sell the car. He says that's all he has from his grandfather, but it's not true. His grandparents paid for his education. He says that he was just a little over the limit, that it's a first offense, and that I'm being unreasonable. I wanted him to grow up and realize he could hurt himself or others. My ex called to say I was being an idiot and that I had no right to make our son sell his car. I told him that our kid was looking to move out and that he was welcome to take him. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. Why are you blaming the car? It's too much car for him, and not your son. Have you talked to your son about his speeding? Have you talked to your son about drinking and driving? Taking the car away will eliminate the issue for now, but it won't eliminate the root cause, which is his reckless behavior. Also, how will his moving out solve the problem of his speeding and intoxicated driving? That will absolve you of some of the responsibility of his behavior. Again, it won't fix the actual problem. Yep, you are the idiot. You can ask him to leave your home, but he's an adult, and you can't control everything else he does. And if you're upset he pays for basically nothing at your home, talk to yourself. You're the one who allowed that situation. I disagree. How can someone who speeds regularly and drives while intoxicated not be an idiot? The root of the problem is that he's immature and is an irresponsible driver. Taking away the car is a perfectly reasonable solution. Kicking his rear end out is a legitimate way to refuse to enable the son's behavior. All the replies reek of forever teenagers who refuse the responsibility of adulthood. The kid is 24 and getting speeding tickets and DUI because he has a muscle car. I doubt he'd get the speed infractions in a 1998 Toyota Tercel. OP is definitely not the idiot. If you're going to live in someone else's house without contributing anything, there are obviously going to be rules. If you don't like it, get your own place and do whatever you like. As far as the car goes, in places like California, if you get caught driving at 100 miles per hour or more, they impound your vehicle because, you guessed it, you're not responsible enough to have it. Not the idiot, Dad. Keep doing you. Cut the cord. My wife, 45, and I, 43 male, were having some drinks outside the other day, and we had a good time. She said, I wish I brought my cigarettes, and I pulled them out of my pocket, as I had anticipated she'd want to smoke. She said, wow, how did you know? I said, I can see the future, especially when you're drinking. She said, can you see our relationship's future? I said, of course. So she asked me, will we still be together, or will we be divorced? I said, probably divorced. And she asked, when? So I said, I'll probably be tired of Peter's crap in about 4 years and have to bounce. Peter's my wife's son from a previous marriage. He's 24 years old. My wife and I have been together for 21 years. I raised this boy as my own, and he's called me Dad since he was 5. We have a great relationship. We have never had the "you're not my real dad" fight. We're good. However, I feel like my wife coddles him and he's failing to launch, so to speak. He's at uni, but he's never had a job. His social circle is like 5 people that he's constantly online with. He very rarely leaves the house, or his room for that matter. My wife must remind him to shower every day, and she has to wake him up every day. He will not wake up to an alarm, mainly because he usually plays online games until 6 or 7 a.m. He's not a bad kid. He doesn't drink or smoke or do drugs. He doesn't listen to Andrew Tate. He's just kind of a nerdy shut-in. My wife is happy to have him live at home forever. I am not. I'm very worried for him. He can't drive and doesn't want to learn. He's comfortable in his life and sees no reason to grow. I stress the fact that he's an adult now to my wife many times, but he'll always be her baby. Honestly, it's killing me to watch her enable him. Whenever I try to encourage him to get a part-time job or get out of the house, she tells me off and asks me to leave him alone. I feel like a failure as a parent, but I'm happy he's staying out of trouble. He could do so much more, though. He is very bright. I will say to her, what if we died tomorrow? What would happen to him? He would have to do a lot of growing up very quickly. Maybe we should push him a little bit now, but she won't hear it. Anyway, she lost her temper with me. How could you divorce me because of Peter? He'll be fine. Everyone develops at a different speed, etc. I get it. I know. I think she also feels like we failed him by over-providing, and she doesn't want to hear it. But guys, I can't sit around forever if this is the trajectory. I pray he snaps out of it, finishes uni. He's now a junior at year 4. He doesn't take a full course load. Yes, we're paying for everything. Gets a job and grows up. But if not, I can't see myself supporting him and her forever. I feel like leaving might actually be good for both of them. I contribute 80% to the household finances. She works part-time. Anyway, I don't think it'll really come to that. I have faith in the kid. I was just 50-50 joking and serious with my 4-year timeline. 4 years is a long time, right? The fact that she was upset is upsetting to me. Does she think he'll be doing the exact same stuff 4 years from now? She thinks I'm an idiot because I'm giving an ultimatum, and she doesn't care how long he stays at home. So, am I the idiot here? You are the idiot. This was incredibly blindsiding. Like, you and your wife are having a joking banter back and forth type conversation, and then you slip in a jab saying, I'm going to divorce you in 4 years if Peter doesn't change. You tried to avoid having a real conversation about it and just tried to pass off the ultimatum as a joke. It failed. Buck up and have a real conversation instead of trying to hide it behind jokes that are passive-aggressive. It's not Peter's crap you're sick of, OP. Wow, this is so accurate. Would you be leaving because of Peter or because of your wife? I think it sounds like you're more unhappy than you realize, and it's not all about Peter. The situation with Peter is just the situation that's highlighting the other problems, like that your wife, despite you being in Peter's life for 21 years, apparently doesn't give your feelings or opinions any weight whatsoever, that she acts as if she's Peter's only parent and can and will overrule you no matter what, that even though Peter's situation directly affects every single aspect of your life, you don't deserve a voice about it, or even the respect to be heard instead of dismissed. The only reason you brought it up is because there is some truth here. Your problem is less Peter and more your marriage, and unless your wife is willing to communicate and maybe go to a counselor, mediator, or therapist, I suspect your prediction for your future is more accurate than you realized. So I, 27 female, have been married to my husband, Spencer, 28, for 2 years, but have been together for 6 years total. We don't have kids. I've known Spencer since elementary school. We've had a loving relationship from the beginning, but now he's destroying it with his insecurity after discovering I was with another guy before him. So he knows I'm bi. I had dated girls most of high school until graduation. I slept with my best friend Maven's, 26 female, cousin Thomas. He was the only guy I was with. We dated a bit, but it didn't go anywhere. I dated my last ex-girlfriend from 18 to 20 in college. We broke up, and then I got with Spencer. We've been together since. Spencer knew I dated girls in high school and college, but we never really talked about our past relationships and flings. Spencer slept with half the girls I knew in high school and slept with many in college. I don't care about past relationships. They don't bother me. I'm not a jealous person. Spencer didn't show any signs of jealousy at all. When Spencer and I went to see our friends, Maven, my best friend, was there. We were at Spencer's best friend's house and we were all drinking. It was fun. We watched a few movies and the topic of hookups came up. Everyone was talking about body counts and past relationships. Spencer did talk about how many girls he slept with to his best friend Ace. Then he boasted how he was the only guy that I had slept with. Maven cut him off and told him while giggling, "You mean second?" Spencer was confused and asked me if it was true, and with whom. I did say yes, and with Thomas. He just got quiet after that. The whole time there, he wasn't interacting with anyone that much. He was only on his phone. I did try to talk to him, but he either didn't hear me or gave one-word answers. When we got home, he snapped at me and told me I was a whore for letting a guy touch me, how he thought he was the only one. I just started crying. I told him that we never talked about our past relationships that much. It was even before we got together. He was dating another girl when I even got with Thomas. That was years ago. Why is he mad about it now? He proceeded to call me so many names and how I was gross and if he was better. I just didn't answer him. So I went to our room and locked it. He slept on the couch and told me the next day he was sorry and intoxicated. I did forgive him. I thought we had gotten over it, but he always asked if Thomas was better when we did anything romantically, for everything. It was getting tiring. I told him to stop asking me this. He did stop, and things went back to normal, till I got a text and screenshots from Thomas, who I haven't spoken to in years. I was confused when I saw the screenshots of my husband threatening Thomas, saying everything awful. Now, Thomas is married and has kids, so I don't know what Spencer thinks he's going to get out of Thomas. I did apologize to Thomas and told him I had no idea this was happening. But Thomas told me to keep my husband under a leash and proceeded to block me. I was just furious and I confronted Spencer. We got into a huge argument, and I told him I was divorcing him. He started crying and begged me not to go, but I left and stayed at one of my girlfriend's place. I'm done with this crap. His friends are harassing me and calling me a whore and a liar. His family's asking me to come back, but I just can't. He's put so much stress over something that had nothing to do with him, years before we got together. Am I the idiot if I proceed with the divorce? Not the idiot. He called you a what? Yeah, this guy sounds unstable, and his friends too. It sounds like he viewed you like some kind of trophy, like he won by being the man to win the bi woman. The dude needs some serious help. Take care of yourself and stay away from drama queens. Your life will be a nightmare if you continue with this. Are we sure his friends are getting the whole story? Or even in a remotely accurate one? I'm almost positive his explanation didn't include. So, I got obsessively insecure that she slept with another man years before we got together and started calling her a whore, despite clearly being an absolute man whore myself. Bet they didn't get that story. Girl, run away. I dated someone similar in the past, and trust me, it's just the beginning. Please take care of yourself and remove him from your life completely. It doesn't matter how sweet and loving he is, or if he was intoxicated one night. There are so many more nights that he can come home intoxicated and say or do mean things to you. You deserve so much better. His behavior towards you was wrong, but his behavior towards Thomas is terrifying. Divorce, block, move on.